Well, yes, I note the minister mentioned socialism, and I remind him that socialism's close comrade is Marxism, which paradoxically uses divisive identity politics as a means to reduce social cohesion, to overthrow capitalism. Minister, what is the government doing to save Australians from the Marxist agenda?
Senator Cormann.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. We'll continue to fight for freedom, Mr. President. I mean, Marxism is essentially just socialism on steroids. Marxism is socialism on steroids. It is a failed ideology. It is an ideology that has led people in countries around the world where it's been applied into poverty and misery. Because any policy agenda that seeks to pursue equality of outcomes necessarily leads people to equally mediocre outcomes, whereas, of course, our policy agenda pursuing freedom and free enterprise, smaller government, lower taxes, is an agenda that incentivizes people to be the best they can be, so that, and that, of course, more successful Australians in our context will lead to a more successful Australia, which is better for all Australians indeed. So we will continue to work very hard to ensure that Australians today and into the future have the best possible opportunity to get ahead, because we understand that maximising the success of every individual Australian helps to provide better opportunity for all Australians.
Time for the answer has expired. Senator Bernardi, a final supplementary question.
Thank you, Mr. President. And this is a very specific question, so I would ask the minister to be directly relevant to it. Is the minister aware of any senator who stands approximately 6 feet 5 inches tall and has devoted their political career to railing against socialism and Marxism? If so, what would he say to that senator right now?
Senator Bernardi. Sorry, Senator Cormann.
Well, Mr. President, the first thing I would say, Mr. President, I once knew a guy. I once knew a guy who was in the Liberal party room promoting a great conservative free market agenda, but sadly he left us. Sadly he left us. But I feel like that in more recent time that very fine senator for the great state of South Australia has been coming back closer to the bosom of the broader Liberal Party family, and I'm very pleased about that. I'm very pleased about that. But let me just, seriously, in closing my response to this question, Senator Bernardi has made a fine contribution. I very much value this contribution inside the Liberal Party. I was disappointed when he chose to leave the Liberal Party, but of course, having made the decision that he's made now, I'm sure that all senators will join me in wishing Senator Bernardi all the best of success into the future. We've all enjoyed the sparring.